Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another AM podcast here with Down the Line with Jeremy Humphrey. Today's podcast interview is going to be special guest Jason Backel with Madonna Softball. Like I said, we like to have softball coaches come on. We've got a ton of baseball interviews. It's nice to have a softball coach come on. So welcome, Coach, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So, Coach Backel, why don't you give a little introduction about yourself? Let the people know who you are.
Oh, okay. Well, my day job, I'm a pharmacist. I'm a part owner of the Tri-State Medical Group, where we have pharmacy in Follinsby, in Weirton, and in Wintersville. And but what I really love to do is coach softball.
Nice. Do you have any kids on the team or anything? Is it just you?
No, I had three girls. My oldest one did not play. She was actually a cheerleader in West Virginia, tremendous athlete. And my middle daughter, Addie, she is a senior at West Virginia, but she played 4 years for Chris Connie. And she's trying to get into law school right now. And then my youngest daughter, Anna, just played 1 year, which was her senior year, which was my first year of coaching. Kind of funny because a lot of people ask me, how are your daughters doing on the team? I'm like, they're gone. They're all in college or out of college.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
That's not why I did it.
So me and you, we've actually met a few years back at the Madonna Indoor Complex. You had just taken over the head coaching position from Coach Connie, who had been there for years. And the roster was kind of, teeter-tottering around number-wise. How have you been able to get girls to buy into your program and stay at Madonna and then come into Madonna and buy in?
Yeah, that first year we had my first meeting. I'll never forget. I had a meeting in the fall after I took over, and Chris was there for 28 years. He won 5 or 6 OVAC championships. I think over 28 years he had over 300 wins. So big shoes to step in, but he graduated, I think, 7 or 8 seniors. So when I stepped in my first meeting in the fall, I had 7 girls show up. So I'm like, well, the last time I checked, you need 9.
Right.
I basically started walking the hallways and asking girls to play. So I was lucky enough to get 10 my first year. And luckily, we had no injuries. So we were through the season. I think we went 8-10 that first year. So we got through it. We survived.
Right.
I did not want to let the program go. And then my second year, which was last year, we had 11. Unfortunately, before the season started, we had a junior who had some significant playing time. She got in a car accident and broke her femur. So now it's down to 10. And then in the middle of the year, I had another junior who was hitting close to 400, Ella Winget, whose father coaches the girls basketball team.
Yeah.
I'll never forget, we were practicing and we were just getting ready to wrap it up and hit a ball to right field, and she turned on it and her knee popped out, and we lost her for the rest of the year. So, yeah, we either had 8 or 9 for the rest of the year because we had one girl who was involved in another sport, and she told me that beforehand. So, it was rough going. I ended up 8 or 9 last year because of a couple injuries.
Yeah.
We went 9-11, but we had some significant wins. We split with the Toronto club, who's always good. We split with a Beaver local team who's much bigger.
Yeah.
We had some pretty decent wins. We split with the Bridgeport team, who had a decent year. So we had some nice wins last year. But with 9 girls, we went 9-11, and I was pretty pleased with that considering our numbers.
Right.
Uh,
Now, looking at your schedule right now, you seem to be doing pretty well for yourself. Sitting at 7-4, and you got a game tonight against who's that? Bellsville, and
yes.
then East Liverpool, and then you got two with Trinity Christian this weekend. How's the roster looking this year
So
compared with that?
we have 14. So which is great.
Yeah.
We have one girl who's a freshman. Her dad coaches with me, Dave Owens. Her name is Maddie Owens, who is, you're going to hear her name here in the next few years. I promise you. She's a fantastic player. Unfortunately, in the last basketball game, the sectional game, she went for a rebound and she on top of her foot. So it's a slow healing bone, from what I'm told from my friend, Dr. Elatus. So she got checked. She had a checkup in 6 weeks. It wasn't completely healed. So we are keeping our fingers crossed that we get her back during OKC week.
Yeah.
So a couple more weeks. So I think she's 7 weeks out right now. But yeah, we have 14. We are 7-4. We lost to some very good teams. We beat the teams that we should have beat. Except for this past Saturday, I thought we should have won that game against Cameron, and we just didn't hit the ball. And that's a credit to their coaching staff, and their pitcher pitched a really good game. But we lost that game 6-4 in the 7th inning. We had a nice comeback. I shouldn't say a comeback, a bounce back win yesterday against Magnolia. We faced Weir High Club Monday in the city championship, and all the credit to them. They're loaded. We'll talk about them. Very good pitcher. They got power. They smash the ball. Their outfielders have a ton of speed, and all their infielders are solid. And we didn't play well, and we got smoked. But we played Magnolia yesterday, who we lost to the first time. And we had a nice win yesterday where we beat them 12-4. We finally got out of a little bit of a slump, and we hit the ball really well yesterday. And then today we have Bellsville, who we beat 6-3 in the first game. We played really well, and they're always a solid club. They're always fast, and they're actually ahead of us in the OVAC right now. They haven't played a lot of games, so we're looking forward to this one to see how we match up against them again.
Yeah, I just pulled up your OVAC standings here. You're sitting at 4th place, which obviously these teams haven't played a lot of games who have these dirt fields, which you do as well. But you're lucky enough to have Weir and some other teams around that have turf that I'm sure you probably utilize as well. But
yeah, and we actually played Cameron at Big Red.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to get that field. We were supposed to play them a double header. We played them one game just because they were jammed up all day.
Yeah.
With games, I think Oak Glen and Big Red played earlier in Canton Valley, so we were at least able to get one in, and that was our first game back since the previous week. Before. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some of these records around the OVAC. We have 11 games in. I think we got to be probably in the top tier of teams having games, because a lot of these teams just haven't played.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you there. Like you said, Bellsville, according to this thing, is sitting at 2-1. Wellsville 2-1, so they've only technically got 3 games into the OVAC standings, which gets updated every Monday. Canton Valley opened up down south. I think they were in Myrtle to start off the year. They're always a tough out from what I hear. And then you're sitting down here in 4th spot right now at 6-3, according to the standings. So, I mean, and you said you got 2 this weekend with Trinity Christian too, right?
We do. We play East Liverpool Friday. I'm hoping to get that game in. And then 2 with Trinity. Now, I'll tell you about Trinity. I'm going to be honest with you, and their coach would agree with this. They just weren't very good the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And, they had a lot of freshmen and sophomores. Well, I know they had an 8th grade team, 7th and 8th grade team that had 7 or 8 eighth graders, and I think they did pretty well. It all came up, and I think they started out the season 5 or 6-0.
Oh, nice.
The coach's daughter is a pitcher, so they came out and they did really well. I think they split with Cameron, so they're an up and comer, and they're actually going to be with the new classification. They're going to be in our section next year. So I like to see how we match up with them. We have a doubleheader. Hopefully we get to play that at home Saturday, but the weather's looking better for Saturday. Hopefully we don't get too much rain on Friday. The good news is at Stervaggi Field over the last couple of years, if it rained, we couldn't play on it for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
But now we've sunk a ton of money into conditioner, and we've already conditioned that field twice this year. We conditioned it last fall. It's a nice little orange color now when it rains, but we just bought more conditioner. So now, we get a rain like today where, it rained all morning. And I think we're going to be, if it holds off, I think we'll be able to play it today. If that was a couple, we would have been done for 2 or 3 more days.
Yeah, I remember practicing down on that field and running some tournaments down there with BDA in the years past. And that third baseline would come down that hillside, hit the first baseline, and completely wash everything away all the way down. So, I know Chris Connie did some work to it in the previous years to fix the lip and try and get some drainage. I know Stervaggi's Industries has gone down there to help out to try and get that field where y'all don't have any rainouts, but weather is weather, and you just can't control Mother Nature.
Well, I'll tell you what we did this past fall. We made a French drain from the right field fence all the way down the first baseline. So you know where I'm talking about, all the way to the backstop. Made a French drain there. We have backfilled with River Rock. All the French drain was donated by Weird Lumber, so a little shout out to them. And Stervaggi's helped us out with all the rock. And then I had a buddy of mine who ran the dozer, Frank Pierce. He dug that out, and then we did another one out in from the right field line where the French straight started all the way to center field. Right. Okay. And then we reopened another French drain that Chris previously did, Chris Connie, behind second base.
Okay.
That French drain in the foul line all the way out to second base, which was like another 70 feet. We did that one. So that, in a combination of the conditioner, I think has helped out a ton.
Absolutely. Yeah. Sounds like y'all had a plan and executed that plan pretty well.
Yeah, we had a ton of people help. I don't even want to name them because I won't name a couple people, but put 50 feet of new fence in at the field, painted the shed, the dugouts. That's one thing we want to expand is the dugouts because they're tiny now.
Yeah.
Put a lot of work into it.
Nice. Let's talk about your winter prep. So I'm going to pull up a little picture here, and this is the Madonna Indoor Complex, or as we like to call it, the MAC. Pull this picture up. It'll show. Maybe not. So I got my mouse over the picture here. This little building right here to the upper right-hand corner is a little small picture of the MAC. 8,800 square feet, turf complex. You have the addition now with the batting cage area in the backside, bathrooms now installed. How special is it to have an indoor complex? I mean, not only just to share with football and baseball and junior dons, softball and all that, but to be able to have a complex like that to utilize.
Incredibly fortunate. I mean, this was Luke Myers' project, who has been a assistant coach on the baseball team for years. He's the president of Stervaggi Industry. As well as this is this building housed Stervaggi trucks back in the day, cement trucks.
Yeah.
So the cement underneath, I mean, I think somebody told me it's a foot thick. But he went in there, replaced the garage doors, replaced all the siding, Got HVAC to come up there from H.E. Newman, replaced all that. Then, got the artificial turf. Then we had an addition added on to it where we added beautiful bathrooms, another area of pitching, and more batting cages. I mean, I don't know how many small schools our size have a facility like this. Of course, I know Big Red has a beautiful facility across the river, but we have a ton of teams renting it out from West Allegheny. That too, you know
we rented it out.
you but I mean, before we just had to practice in the gym and Madonna's gym. We beat the heck out of that floor up there, which we don't want to do because we just had that resurfaced a couple weeks ago. So it's so nice to go down there when it rains and practice. And in February and March around here, early March when our season starts, and there's girls, and the girls go on their own during the winter. They can go down there and hit anytime they want. We have a nice batting cage with a machine. We could take a full infield in there.
Yeah,
which is great.
Absolutely.
And, even I think We're High, when they were in the playoffs, I think they went down there and used it.
The football team did, yeah.
When they had a couple bad days during their playoffs. So yeah, you could easily run an 8-on-8 on there in football.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't run deep flags or anything, but
you
could throw nice 20-30 yard outs.
Absolutely.
We're very thankful, and it's really all because of Luke Myers, and he had a group who helped out, but a lot of volunteer work. I mean, I think there were trees growing out of the roof. I think I have pictures of it when he first started fixing it up.
I believe in the back corner there was a tree, yeah, and I know that in the back corner as well, on the left side when you come through the main. Well, I guess it's not the main door anymore. What used to be the main door, the hillside there on the left-hand side, the water would come in through that back corner because, I mean, the water's got to go somewhere, and unfortunately, that just happens to be where it was. And there's also a spot in the middle. Right directly in the middle, if you bounce a ball, you can actually feel the wooden plank that goes across, because where they had the oil drainage or a drainage come in, they put a wooden piece over it. So when you bounce a ball, you can actually feel that spot in the middle there. But that place is incredible. It's definitely something that I know Toronto was the first high school team to have turf in the area. Madonna's building is definitely one of the first in this area that people are trying to model after and get some of the same ideas going there. So, somewhere there's got to be a first, and that was definitely a first for the area for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's been great. I mean, one of the reasons why we're, a half decent ball club, we could, put in the work. And, before, I mean, I think last year, or actually 2 years ago, I think we might have been on the field twice before the season started. I mean, just can't get on it a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping this year was a little bit different. We got, just because of all the work we put in it. But yeah, we're incredibly, fortunate to have a facility like that. I mean, our school is not a big school. We're probably one of the smallest in the OVAC. Maybe a handful of kids over one. And I think a facility like that helps me recruit girls inside the school because, they know it's a real program. And it's one of the reasons why, there's 50 or 55 girls in that school, I got 14 of them playing.
Yeah.
Some of these big schools where they got 600 or 700 kids in there, and I know they got 300 girls, and they're having trouble getting 15 to 18 kids on their team.
That's crazy. You said the key word recruiting. Let's talk about the Hope Scholarship and what that does for you to help out recruiting girls from local other schools to get to Madonna, not just for, let's just say, softball reasons. That Hope Scholarship is for educational purposes mainly, but it does help if you do have somebody that you're trying to get to your school, tell me a little bit about the Hope Scholarship.
Well, let's just say this: I recruit inside the school. I can't recruit anybody else. Can't recruit girls from any other school. But
Yeah,
it's nice that they started this Hope Scholarship, and from what I understand, it costs West Virginia taxpayers about $16,000 or $17,000 to educate a student 1 year in public schools. So what I think West Virginia did was they said, okay, if you want to go to a private school, whether it's a Catholic school or just another, non-denominational private school, what we're going to do is we're going to give you $4,800 towards that tuition. Now, Madonna's tuition is more than that. And, my kids, again, they're out of school, so I don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
But it's in, between that $6,000 and $7,000 range, which is, affordable when you compare it to Pittsburgh Catholic schools, which are in the range. But, it's just nice that there's an alternative for kids.
Yeah.
If they don't, if the parents are not happy at their particular school, at least now they have an out where they're like, okay, we can get this Hope Scholarship. Okay. You're eligible if you attended a public school the year before. You apply now, and the 4,800, whatever it is, I don't know, they might increase it to 5,000. You use that money towards the tuition of the private school.
Yeah.
So at least some people have an alternative where if they're not happy where they're at, they could at least go to. And I think Ohio does something very, very similar. They call it something different. But if they want to go to Steubenville Central or Wheeling Central or Madonna, at least now have.
Yeah.
There's some other things that they can apply to through the diocese to get some additional monies where that tuition is, brings it down to something very, very little.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way you look at it, I mean, it's nice that they are looking out for the schools, and I'll be honest with you, Madonna was an option for us at one given point in time. He's with his friends now, so that's not happening, unfortunately. But the education and the small classroom settings and the way that you have other teachers from like Franciscan come over and help out, the education at Madonna definitely is top notch for sure. So kudos to the school.
To this, I have 4 seniors. I think I asked 3 of them one day, "Hey, how'd you do on the ACT?" They were all fantastic. One had a 20, had a 26. I think the other one, really wasn't happy because once, but she had like a 24. I mean, not bad. So,
right. So we talked about the MAC. We talked about the Hope Scholarship. I want to go back and talk about your schedule and kind of go over some teams that you're looking out for. So, like, obviously, you have your new classifications coming in West Virginia next year. What are some of the teams on your schedule this year that you're still trying to look out for, as well as teams that are in your districts that you have to get to go to states that you're looking out for?
So for being such a small school, I mean, we play Weir High, who's loaded this year. We play Oak Glen, who has been to the States for the last few years.
Yeah.
We play Wheeling Central, who is they're single A in the state, but they're moving up to double A. But they're like I think double or triple A in OVAC. Play Beaver Local, bigger school. East Liverpool, it's a bigger school. We picked up Burgettstown. So, we don't shy away from anybody.
Right.
But the teams that we're looking out for now are, the teams that are going to be in our section next year. So our section next year, which there's a new classification in West Virginia, we're going to 4 different classes. It's been 3 forever, but West Virginia did a trial with girls basketball and boys basketball where they did 4 classes, and they started that a few years ago. So now they're going to do it in football, baseball, and softball. So now, it gives us a little bit better chance. We don't have to face a Wheeling Central who has triple the amount of kids that we have.
Right.
They might have, I don't know exactly, but I know they got at least, they're around that 300 range. And, we're around that little over 100 range. So now our new section is going to be Trinity, Cameron, Clay Backel, and Clarksburg Notre Dame. And Wheeling Central moves up to Double A.
Okay.
So those teams that I just mentioned, we beat Clay Backel. We got Trinity coming up. We lost to Cameron. They have a nice freshman pitcher. They played well against us. We didn't hit. Hopefully we get to see them again. But those that we're watching for next year, some of the teams that are in our section this year, the Page City, the Valley, Magnolia, they moved to a different section. So, those are the teams that we're looking out for, like regionals now, because section 2. So we don't, those teams aren't in our section anymore.
Nice. Now, do they often change the sections? Because I'm from Texas, so you may be in a division for 3 years, and then in 3 years they redo your division. So my freshman, sophomore, junior year, we played Garland, South Garland, North Garland, Naaman Forest, that area. And then when I graduated after that, they ended up playing some more Dallas schools. Like they still played 5A teams, but they kind of you played your rival teams, and then they gave you 4 additional new teams every 4 years or so. Do they do that in West Virginia?
I just read that since this is a new classification starting the fall of 24, I read, because I was curious, because believe it or not, Madonna was 2 spots away from being Double A, because they take enrollment.
Yeah.
They also take, there's a percentage in their calculation where they take the population of your town, okay, which would be Weirton, which is,
right.
A larger town for West.
Big, yeah.
And then they also take economic status of your town. So that's like another percentage. So even though our enrollment was probably near the middle or the bottom, we were near the top. So I was kind of worried, like, hey, we're going to get in Double A next year. And I read that I think this classification is good. I want to say for 4 years. So I think at least until 28.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and around here, this enrollment doesn't change a lot
right
from here. So I have to assume those other schools, that section's going to stay the same probably for the next, 4 years until we have, a reclassification again.
Okay. So every 4 years?
That's what I think it was 2028. I think they'll look at that.
One of the things we kind of overlooked earlier was recruiting for your team. Who's on your roster that, has the potential to be recruited, whether it be, Division 1, 2, 3, however softball works out?
I have I told you about my freshman who's
Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie Owens. I think she has the potential to play some college ball. Just it depends on how much she wants to work over the next 3 years. But I know this: she loves softball, and she's a hard worker.
Yeah.
Somebody like her, to be honest with you, some of these girls, I think they enjoy softball. They like softball a lot. Do I see them wanting to play in college? Most of them, no. I think my pitcher, whether she wants to be Kendall Ryan, she's been my only pitcher last year and this year. Thank God for her. She's very solid. I think she has the potential, maybe not as a pitcher, but maybe as a, to play small college. I think she's mentioned in the past, maybe like Pitt, Johnstown, Pittsburgh, Bradford,
Yeah.
schools, but she definitely has the potential. I have Chloe Orecchio, who's my catcher, who never caught before her freshman year, and I made her into a catcher, and now she absolutely loves it. She's barely over 100 pounds. She's put on a over the last couple of years. She's one of those girls where you like to put her heart and her work ethic in a girl who's 5'9", 5'10", 160.
Yeah.
But, I think she can play. She is a cannon for an arm. She hits the ball with power. And, I'm hoping, she's a junior, but I think she could play somewhere small if she wanted to.
Okay, nice.
I got Carm Pulis on first. She's hit 400 the last couple of years. I think she made honorable mention in the state. This all depends on what their desire is.
Right.
If they want to play in the next level, I'll do everything I can to get them noticed.
Absolutely. Do you send them to camps or recommend camps or anything like that for them to go to during the summer?
Another junior, Allie Laughlin, who went to a ton of camps, and
Allie. I know Allie.
And she's a hard worker. I know she went to Penn State's camp. I know she went to a couple other camps, and I apologize. Maybe somewhere in Ohio. But I know definitely she went to Penn State. I think she had somebody watching her play during the regular season this year. But she definitely has some potential to play at the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw her when she came into the MAC a couple of times. She swings the bat pretty strong. She's got a good arm as well. She's pretty raw.
She's fast, which you can't teach speed.
No.
And she likes the game. And she laid down a beautiful bunt that caused all kind of chaos yesterday.
Nice.
We had a little pitching change, and she came up to talk to me. I said, "This is what we're going to do." I said, there was girls on first and second. I think no outs. We put down a bunt. It was beautiful. I think they ended up throwing it in the right field, and I think we ended up getting a few run, 3 or 4 or 5 runs that inning. And it kind of got us on our way yesterday, but it was beautiful.
There you go.
These girls just buy in this fundamentals of softball where we're spending a lot of time on bunting. And I think when I first started coaching, some of these girls that I've had for a couple of years, it's almost like a slap in the face. That I asked them to bunt. Then they thought I was like, making that bunt for a hit. I'm like, I don't care if you get thrown out.
Right.
Runners. So they're starting to get that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. Some of their softball IQ, smart girls, some of their softball IQ is not where it should be, but starting to come around.
Once you get experience and you start playing the game, and now that softball's on ESPN way more than what it used to be, you can actually watch these games and see the progress and process of some of the plays that happen and where the players are thinking about going, the pump fakes, the drags, the slap hitting, the situational defense, situational offense. It's definitely out there for girls to watch more and more. I know me and my daughter, we were watching Longwood and Upper South Carolina or something the other day. And even the 10-minute span that I had my daughter's attention watching the game, she was invested. She watched it. And that's what's great about having ESPN on board now with women's sports, actually, showing it more on TV. The girls that are younger can now buy in and see what's going on. So that challenges their softball IQ for when they come to you. You're not having to reteach small things. You can kind of go over more advanced things, and that's great.
What's nice too is we played. I'm not allowed to be involved, but we have a couple parents that take over the fall league, and I know those rules are changing in West Virginia, but it was nice. We played 8 games last, late summer and fall. We played out in a tournament out in Little Washington. We went out to Harrison, played them. Down a couple times. Those kinds of things, which we haven't done in a while, are huge for these girls. Number one, I could look and watch and see how they react, and I know what, I have a better idea to put them in certain positions.
Right.
Even though you're down at the MAC and they're reacting to the ball, they react to the ball a totally different way once the season starts and they're playing.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so, by the way, what grade's your daughter in?
She is in second grade.
Oh, second. All right. I was hoping you were going to say eighth.
Second grade. And then
All
my son's in seventh grade, so he'll be an eighth grader
right.
next
I don't know if I'll be there that long.
year. Well, Coach,
I might get fired.
I got one last segment here for you. It's going to be our rapid fire question. This section is sponsored by Corey's HVAC for all your air conditioning and heating issues, service repairs and installations. Call Corey at 740-317-3649. I know the summertime's coming, so once these AC units start getting put on, he'll be available to come out and assist you guys. Rapid fire questions, like I said, Coach. Pre-game meal, something that you have to have in your stomach to kind of settle the nerves before the game starts.
Well, I was going to say pasta the night before, get those carbs going, so you have all kinds of. Plenty of water, and sometimes I'll tell them just get your Gatorade in, not too much sugar, and just eat light. I don't care what it is, just eat light.
Okay. You're in the middle of a game. The game's going longer than you thought. What's an in-game snack that you have to have on hand so that you can hold yourself?
We just have. You know what? We should have, and that's a good idea. Maybe is might just start bringing bars to the game just in case these games go.
Yeah. You're getting ready. You're on the bus. You're in your car. Pre-game on the field. What's a song that you want to listen to get you amped up for the game?
A little Metallica.
There you go. A little hard rock.
Any Metallica. Listen, I'm an 80s guy. Graduated in 88, so little Iron Maiden, little Metallica. Anything from those big hair bands back in the day.
There you go. And the last one, you have no softball. The girls are out of town. Your wife's out of town. What's a hobby that you like to do? Just you and your boys, I guess.
Well, I golf. I'm not very good at it. But, I enjoy doing that, grabbing, a cigar. But I love spending a ton of time in the yard. I got my own garden, so that's always fun for me.
Nice. I like to try and golf as well, and I'm starting to become more of a cigar aficionado. I'd like to think I'm a rookie, but I like to think it. Go to golf course and go to cigar.
Williams Country Club, of course. I think it's the best in the valley. It's fantastic. Anything Cuban. I got a buddy of mine who gets some Cubans for me, so now I'm spoiled.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I had some friends brought me one back. As a matter of fact, a month ago I had one. They brought it to me from Florida. They brought it up. So I smoked that. Thompson Cigar Company, shout out to them. That's where I usually get all my stuff. Acid Blondies. What was the other one? Chow's. There's Drew Estates. I'm a sweet cigar guy. I like the sweetness of some of the rolls that they have. So you got to try some of those out.
Do that.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you for taking time out of your morning to join us on the podcast. I really appreciate it. Good luck to you and Madonna for the rest of the season. I'll be watching Game Changer and OVAC standings and everything like that. So good luck to you and go get them.
Jeremy, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir. Thank you again.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.